Hasselblad gave me a challenge and I accepted that challenge, and I have zero clue if I accomplished that challenge, but you guys will have to let me know because you guys are seeing the results right now. So we all know Hasselblad is one of the OG camera companies out there. You know, with them having such iconic cameras throughout the decades, there's also iconic photographers and photographs. One of those iconic photographers was Sid Avery. He did a series of behind the scenes with James Dean on the movie set of Giant. Now, when I started to study filmmaking, Giant was one of those movies. James Dean overall was just such an iconic person, an actor. You know, he really disrupted Hollywood and brought something new and fresh. He was different, he was unique. And so when I saw these BTS shots from the movie set of Giant, I really wanted to try to create one of the shots, but with my own twist. That twist being with a female model, kind of making it a little bit more edgy, a little bit more modern. Before I go any further though, let me show you guys how we got the shot. Might be easier than you expect. But you guys can see, this is our fit. This is just stuff I had laying around my house. Worked out perfectly. What do you think?
Perfect. I wish I could light this.
No, what do you think about my photography actually? Gas me up. Okay. For this whole thing, we'll be shooting with the Hasselblad X2DII, but Tilta also on the way out here gave me the cage for the X2DII. Look at the color. So I purposely booked this place just to try to get a familiar vibe. So this is the vibe. I forgot gloves, that's all we're missing. And we actually used a car. So this place came with a car that we didn't know was gonna come with it. So it was a pretty freaking epic surprise. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's recreate that shot right now.
I wish I'd never met you. I wish I could forget you.
So obviously that shot was shot 1960s, 70s, 50s. It's a square format, so it's obviously a Hasselblad 6x6 camera. I do this full time. I'm sure you can tell.
I'm an influencer.
I'm assuming they're probably shooting on like an 80mm on a Hasselblad, so we're gonna do the 90mm. There's a lot of compression, not a whole lot of bokeh. So the vibe is, again, he's hanging out on set. It almost looks like he's about to bring his hand up. I have the front dial button set to my crop modes. So right there, I'm in 1x1 now. We're gonna go to F8. Remember, his head's kind of up, hat's kind of down, like he's out taking a break, taking a smoke break. I can tell from the original shot that it was lower light because there's motion blur in his hand, so he's about to go pick up the cigarette. So again, we're doing a few different things. We're a little more modern, sultry, fashiony, obviously with the glasses. But let's try something without the glasses. Put the glasses on the shirt. Head back up. Yeah. Relax your lips. Remove the cigarette and go put it back in. And back in. Man, the face detection, eye detection on the X2DII makes everything so much more easier to do for fashion. So I think we got our main shot. Now we're just gonna explore. Yeah, now we're just gonna explore, have fun. You know, this is what's fun about trying to recreate shots that were iconically shot no matter what camera you're using, but trying to recreate it and you get in the mindset of that photographer in that moment, but then you make it your own. That's kind of the whole point. That's how I've learned to do photography. Now, let's talk about the rest of the shoot now. I'm a big proponent of great artists still. I know it's gonna confuse some people, so let me sound this out real quick. Great artist still. That doesn't mean just go out and copy somebody. That means go out and you know, copy what made that shot great and make it your own. So that shot was just iconic because of James Dean himself. There's nothing, you know, super beautiful about the light, nothing crazy about the background. It was just a vibe. It was an era, and it was freaking James Dean just being his cool, collected self. That's what I really wanted to recreate, but with a female model, of course. You know, and it wasn't about trying to get the best composition or any of that for that shot. It was literally that moment. It was all about James Dean. So that's all I want to recreate. And so the model, even the model that I casted for at Cora, she has such a nonchalant, confident attitude to her. So I knew she was going to be able to accomplish that James Dean energy easily. So that leads me into the rest of the shoot. I want to take that energy into the rest of the photo shoot. And so the whole shoot was kind of stylized around that main shot that we were trying to replicate. It was all designated around that mood and that vibe.
Take over the block, make your jaw drop. Oh, we like it hot. Show me what you got. We
The reason I'm putting this cage on is obviously this is a very nice camera and the price reflects that. And you guys know I can be hard on my stuff and I don't want to stress about it. So, you know, I try my best to add protection where I can. Oh, that's wicked. That feels great on there.
Off and running,
Wow.
all or nothing, we go all in. Speakers bumping, let's get it jumping, we on to something.
I just scratched my butt. So joke's on you.
We gon' take over the block. We gon' take over the block.
Time is money, go TikTok. I count down on my wristwatch. About to go down like big time. Out here chasing green like big slime. Put it on me, that's my vibe. Everything here on my dime. This is me and my prime.
Got me going steady, come and lean with me, rock with me. I'm the king of the block. This is Rock City. Make some room in the block.
We used the Hasselblad for all of it. I did use a vintage film camera as well. I'll share some of the film photographs as well in this, but the Hasselblad files, oh my God. You can see how easy it was for me to replicate that film look on the Hasselblad files. There's many times, you know, Capture One does amazing at like kind of neutralizing camera profiles, but there's still this color science that's baked into a file. So a lot of the time, say if I'm using a different manufacturer with more yellowish type skin tones, we all know what I'm talking about. When I go and edit that and I try to do a film look, oftentimes I have to go and mask the skin tones or I have to go remap the yellow and orange channel so it acts more natural. Every freaking time I edit a Hasselblad file, the blues naturally have like this tealish filmic look. The skin tones hold. You push the white balance wherever you want it to go, and the skin tones almost react as if it's film. Obviously, it's 100 megapixels as well. I'm not huge on megapixels myself, but I do understand, you know, that is a huge part of having extra color fidelity in there because every pixel is carrying color, obviously. Now, let's talk a little bit about the whole point of this video, and that's the Hasselblad X2DII and some of the lenses that we used on there. I think the 907X probably would have been even better to accomplish this shot because it probably would have put me more into that mindset. Because Sid Avery, let's look at the camera that he used first to shoot these images of James Dean. So on the Hasselblad website, it says many of his shots were taken with the Hasselblad 500C, which is very similar to the 907X. Looking back, I wasn't really thinking about it. That's the camera I probably should have used, but I went for my X2DII for a specific reason. The continuous autofocus on this just makes life so much easier when you're working with models and moving subjects. Oh my God. It's finally on par with the full frame camera, I would confidently say. It's not gonna be as fast, but it's gonna be damn near close to how punctual a full frame camera is when it comes to autofocus. So that main shot that we recreated, it was honestly incredibly easy to shoot that. Camera kind of did most of the part. I just had to set my exposure. Let me show you the main lens that I used to get that shot. So this is one of the only primes that I don't own from Hasselblad. I'm hoping they'll just let me keep it from here on out because something I need to announce real quick. Hasselblad now works inside of Capture One. Oh my God, my Hasselblad. There's been many times where I want to take it out, but I was like, I don't want to deal with Lightroom for this shoot. Capture One, when it comes to that film look, it's just it has so much more precision behind the color engine on it. Some of the other lenses, I got to get up again. I also have their 38 and 55 millimeter. The 55 is one of my all-time favorite lenses. This lens has the most character. A lot of these lenses, you know, they're going more for perfection and clinicalness. For me, you know, I like a balance of sharpness, but with a lot of bokeh character. The 55 millimeter f2.5 is the lens that will get you that. In full frame terms, this is more around like a 43 millimeter. And again, it's gonna be like a f1.9 to f2 looking lens. 40 millimeters is probably my all-time favorite focal length, honestly. It's just the beautiful mix of compression, but width. I feel like you can really capture the environment, but without distorting your subject. And it just looks like real life to me. So when shooting wide open on the 55mm, you get a tiny bit more bokeh. I actually turn lens distortion off on most of these lenses because I like the natural character that they have. Because again, I'm not going for clinicalness. I'm going for more of texture and charm, I would say. So even though the vanity of this video was centered around the Hasselblad X2DII, the real concept was based on this right here. I found out about this book years back and I highly recommend it. It's very simple. Even somebody like Terry Warfield will be able to read it because there's a lot of, pictures in it and there's words, but it's not congested. It's not just words. So this book basically gives you creative license to find inspiration and to take it for yourself, but make it your own. I literally just opened it up to this page here and it just happened to be the perfect page to explain this book. Bad depth is degrade, skim, steal from one, plagiarize, imitate, and rip off. When I found that picture of James Dean, I didn't want to do any of that. I didn't want to degrade it, not add anything of my own to it. Purpose behind it was to honor it, honor James Dean and the photographer's relationship, how he had like this behind the scene access to these old glamorous Hollywood stars that was so rare back in those days, to study it, to break down, what made it special, even though it's not that great of like a technical photo. Obviously, I'm trying to give as much credit as possible to Sid Avery, to James Dean, and to Hasselblad just being such an iconic brand that's been around for so long. To transform it and to remix it. Instead of me getting a model and trying to create it down to the T, which I could have done, I don't find that fun personally. I love seeing things that inspire me and then making it my own and adding my own sauce to it and finding ways to make it more unique. That's all art is. Like there's not any original art, especially these days. Everything is just creating their own unique visions of other work that's been done. That's pretty much it, guys. Again, links in the description to everything. And also there will be a link to Sid Avery's work on Hasselblad's website if you guys want to check that out. Highly recommend it. Just learning about, the greats that came before all of us, before social media. I think it's really important to study up on that and to study how they did what they did and to apply that in your own use case if their work speaks to you. So I think that's the whole lesson of this video. That's it. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Thank you for watching and peace.